guys, and welcome to the post-game of Let's Play Final Fantasy X. Last time, we defeated the boss of the game, Sin, and Braska's final Aeon, and all our Aeons, and that little tiny tick-looking dude that was Yu Yevon, and anyway, we beat the game. Now, I've been calling this content that we'd be doing now the post-game stuff for the entire game. It's not technically the post-game stuff, you can do it at any point in time, but it's more, you know, dealing with monsters and areas that are more powerful than the final boss, so that's what I've called it. You may notice the music is a little bit different. For the remainder of this LP in the post-game, I will be leaving the arranged version of the soundtrack on, so we get to hear a little bit of the music from the arranged soundtrack, instead of just listening to the original one the whole time.
You're counting on you, kid.
And that's pretty much all I want to show now, because now we are going to warp to a different part of the Thunder Plains here. Okay, we're back. Now, we are in the northern half of the Thunder Plains here, and you can see up there, right up there is where we need to go to head into Macalania. Now, if you take a look at my levels, yes, I've been busy in between episodes here. You may notice my money is significantly higher as I've sold pretty much everything that I don't need. Well, I got a bunch of stuff after the fact, but yeah. Pretty much all I was trying to keep was mostly just the armor that we already have, and maybe something proof that I may want later on. You know, I keep a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Most of what I kept wasn't, you know, what was the stuff that we expect to have at this point. It pretty much looks all good there. I've got a whole bunch of this stuff. I can't remember where I got it all from. Oh yeah, I was fighting in the Omega Ruins, which is why my levels are so much higher. Most of the time I was just keeping stuff like this. Something with elemental proof or eater on, and my good armors that I created. And weapons, mostly just ultimate weapons, one backup weapon, a no encounter weapon, I don't need that, and let's see, anything else that I keep? Not really, and a capture weapon if that character happened to have it. So I meant to, well, I told you guys earlier that I was going to mention anytime we were capturing monsters where the best place to do it is. For whatever reason, I find running around this spot. Now this spot is where we had the cutscene earlier in the game. We're in the northern half of the Thunder Plains, and this is where we had the cutscene where Yuna said that she would marry. And so I just ran around this thing in a circle, and in the Thunder Plains, there is one enemy in the northern half that doesn't appear in the southern half, and that's the Iron Giant. And he's a relatively rare enemy a lot of the time, but he seems to appear a lot more often around here. So I would recommend doing pretty much all your capturing around here. The only one that doesn't seem to show up as often in the northern half is an enemy that looks like a little dinosaur. I'll put the image up on, and... ow. And so yeah, I went to the southern half to capture all of him, but I would just kind of make sure that you don't talk to the guy I did after doing the Catcher Chocobo thing. Yeah. Now, let's turn off that. Let's talk to you.
Walkers, open for business.
Now, if you did not talk to him up along the path at Mount Gegazet, he will not be here, and you will be kicking yourself, because he sells empty weapons and empty armor. Very, 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 very important. Now, for now, I'm not going to be buying all that much. In fact, I'm only going to buy one Targe, and the reason for that is I have a specific use in mind for that. Later on, we'll come back here and we'll be buying more of them, or I may make better use of things by using the Dark Aeons in order to get abilities that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get, or at least not be able to get that many of them. And what I'm going to do with that is we're going to customize. Let's see, yeah, see, I only have a few pages left of gear here. So we have the Targe. We want to put a few things on here. Let's see, we'll start at the bottom here. Master Thief. We got 30 pendulums from doing the Chocobo side quest in Remium Temple. There is one other way, a legitimate way that's not like really stupid, of getting pendulums in the game, but you really only need Master Thief on one person at one point in time. If you've already put them on Kamari for stealing from Veron and Yankee, then you're kind of out of luck for doing this. It's one of the reasons why I decided not to, but I did want to put Master Thief on here. Now, the next thing we want to put on here is auto haste. Yes. And finally, poison proof. Now, for anyone who's played this game at this point in the game, you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Yeah, I have one specific use for this, and that would be these guys. Now, you probably don't need to do this right away. In fact, for the most part, I won't be doing it, and you are failing to run away. That's unfortunate. If you want to do this at this point in the game, you may even want to put something else on the armor, which is why I used the MP4 slot armor, even though it's really expensive. And that would be put something like auto regen or auto potion on there. Basically, the reason why I want Master Thief on there is to steal from me. I didn't equip it. That's probably why she's so slow. You can run away. Don't need you in here. I was trying to figure out why she wasn't able to do it. And that put her in poison. That's why we have the poison proof on there, because poison is the only difficult aspect of this. But pretty much all of their attacks will put you in poison. Alright, so let's... Actually, we'll use an all-bed potion. That'll cure that and heal me. I would recommend doing this a little bit later after you get a little more HP. But basically, you come in here, and the rare steal from these guys are frag grenades. Come in, steal 2 frag grenades from each of them, and then kill them, get them out of here, and there we go. Their capture limit's already there, that's fine. And the reason we want to do this is because frag grenades are going to be useful later on if you want to try and take down some of the monsters in the monster arena earlier than you otherwise would be able to. So yeah, just come in here, real simple, kill the enemies like this. Now, you could put an auto potion on there if you wanted to. It might make your job a little bit easier. In fact, you may want to put her alchemy weapon on while you're in here, since she can one-shot them without the death status effect there. But yeah, you can do that, and then you can heal a little more each time. But yeah, you're probably going to want somewhere in and around 50 of these things. Miss? I call bullshit. Kill it. There we go. Oh, you can self-destruct. I believe the advantage of sending the other 2 running away is that you can't possibly get game over if just Riku dies, since the other 2 have already run away. Missed? We're not supposed to miss. Game. Steal. There we go. But yeah, I would come in here and do this and get a whole bunch of them, because we're going to want them when we are farming stat spheres later on in the game. For now, we're not going to do that. So anyway, let's... what else do we have to do here? So we did that. Let's meet over at Omega Ruins here. And we're back. And as you can tell, the song is different even here. There's a number of dungeon themes there where their songs got rearranged. I like a lot of the originals due to nostalgia. Sometimes I just like the tempo that they have a lot more, but I figure we might as well show off some of them. Anyway, I have 99 sphere levels, and that's because in between episodes, I captured all 10 of all of the enemies that we needed in the Thunder Plains, hence why I showed off where I captured them. And then in the Omega Ruins, I came here and I captured a bunch of them, basically until I got to max level. And since I had, what, level 78 or something like that when we beat the game there, you can tell we're going to get a lot of levels while we're here. Now, before moving on too far, what I want to do is I want to show where everyone's going, so that as I capture some of the monsters in the Omega Ruins and show off the dungeon, we will actually gain some of the valuable experience that we can get here. And for doing this, we're just going to warp ourselves to where I would like to start. In this case, we're going to warp over here. Normally what I do with Titus is I have him just finish off what's left of Yuna's grid here. And I'm not going to do, you know, all of the nodes here. I'm not going to do all of this on screen. We're going to move about... I'm not even going to learn shell. I don't need that. I'm just going to move about maybe 10 nodes into the grid, and I'll do the rest of this off screen for the other characters. But basically, I'm going to be skipping over spells that I don't have a particular use for, such as things like Protect and Shell, because I will be learning something else, basically Use, that will make it a lot easier for me. So, oops, I guess I can go to the other one. So, oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, 10 nodes out of everybody, and I will show you where the remainder of the characters we have are going to start their grids. Wakka! Wakka is basically just going to continue from where he left off normally here, and that would put him up here. So we're going to send him back here, and what he's going to do, unlock that grid. I'm going to send him down to get this guy and this point of strength down here. So armor break, that point of strength. Of course, he'll get the other things along the way. And then he's going to head up mental break and then basically finish it, this path off here, run into Titus's path here, all the way down, and then he'll eventually head down through Yuna's path all the way to the end of Yuna's path, which is down here. And that's basically where I plan to move him. And the thing is, Auron, where's Auron? He's the next one on my list. Auron is just going to continue on from where he is here. He's going to run through Titus's path and then down into Yuna's path and ending at the same spot as Wakka. And Riku, Riku and Kimahri both, actually, and Lulu, are all going to warp to the end of Yuna's path. So they're going to all warp to Holy, and then we're going to work our way back through Yuna's grid. And what Lulu will do is she'll break off at this point and head over in this direction to get some of these, but everyone else will be heading up, getting quick hit, and moving into Titus's path, following Titus's path around, moving into Auron's grid there. And if you can see here, this is Auron's grid, this is Auron's grid down here. And then at this point, I'll have to choose whether I want to send them further down Auron's grid or if I want to send them up into Wakka's grid. Likely up into Wakka's grid after they get armor break, very much like Wakka is going to do. And that just leaves Yuna. Yuna is going to warp over. In fact, normally what I would do at this point is I would be using a Friend Sphere to warp her over to Lulu's position. I can even do that this time. So that we're going to spend 10 sphere levels there, just so that we can gain the valuable experience as we go through capturing some of the monsters and moving our way through the rest of this dungeon that isn't, you know, getting 99 warp spheres and getting really, really lucky out of it. Okay, we're back, and just so you can kind of see things, like I said, we already showed Titus is there, and this is how far we've got with Wakka, Lulu, or Riku, not Lulu, came through here. Now what I did is I used the 3 HP sphere nodes that I had left. I used the spheres, and I used them right here. This one and this one were level 3 key spheres before, so I just unlocked them, moved our way back. We picked up Holy. Lulu did the same. Of course, she didn't have to unlock anything. And this is how far Auron moved. Kimahri was not even done his, or Riku's grid yet, so he'll be a little bit behind, but once I'm done, I will be warping over. I do note that even if you don't have the warp spheres themselves, it's very easy when Yuna's still at the end of her grid, where she normally is at this point in the game, to use Friend Spheres to move all the people over in mass exodus, and then just use a teleport sphere to move her, Yuna that is, over to the end of, not that one, where is it? There it is, to the end of Lulu's grid there. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so we've done all that. Yeah, that's pretty much all that we need to do here. Now we can finally run in here and actually do some of the stuff that we're supposed to do in here. This guy. There's not really a whole lot to say about this guy. Let's see, he's even on my list because there's nothing to really say. Sorry about that. Everyone decided to make noise all over the house all at the same time. So we gotta go figure out what it was, and close the window, and all these things. So anyway, there's not much to say about this guy. He's weak. He dies in one shot. I don't think you can get, I think you need to do 10,000 damage to overkill him. Again, don't worry too much about it. Not until you're done capturing them all, like as you can see I am there. Susceptible to death and petrification if you care. Anyway, there's nothing pretty much to do up there, even though I've already gone up there. It lets you see a treasure chest that we're going to be able to get anyway, so let's just head this way and move on.
I'll be right back.
Well, I should actually show that off. There is an enemy that can be found in that battle formation. Get it again, then fine, we'll show it off. Steal from the treasure chest. If it says nothing to steal, it will turn into one of 4 different mimics. And you cannot capture these guys, and they're immune to sensors, and they're really powerful. So we'll just end you here. And different variants of them are weak to different things. I think they're immune to Demi, but let's see for sure. And then we'll throw a flare spell at it. Some of them are strong against physical, some of them are strong against magic. They are not, they are susceptible to Demi then. I believe they're all basically the same in terms of that. So this one's strong against magical attacks. These guys are pretty powerful. You can't steal anything from them. I don't think you can use any of your break attacks on them. I would guess not. Yeah, they're probably immune to all of those. Bring in Kamari, they're immune to death and petrification. And so usually how I deal with them, since they're so powerful and they take forever to kill, and these ones are susceptible to physical attacks, we'll just bring out an Aeon and have them do battle for us. It's not really worthwhile fighting. The reason why you would want to battle these guys, though, even though you can't capture them, and they don't really give all that much experience,
I will share your pain with you,
is because each time you fight them, they will drop. Not enough, but should be enough for the overkill, I believe. Nope, not enough for the overkill even. But it's usually easier to fight with them. You could try physical attacks, so yeah, you don't get any experience, but you get 50,000 gil each time you fight them. Nothing else drops from them. I don't fight them all that much. If you're going to fight them, do it when you're a little bit higher level, and then have Riku with her Gillionaire weapon on, and then just go in there with your characters once they get strong enough to be able to take them down, and then you'll get 100,000 for each one, and that's awesome. And just hope the game decides to let you go in some other battle formation that's not one of those guys and a treasure chest. Urgh!
Live and let live.
Stop this game. Sometimes it'll do this where this will be the only battle formation you'll see forever. It's really annoying. This guy. Now, one thing I found right at the end of the grid, if you want to try and capture these guys, use Lulu and double cast Flare, and then, or double cast Demi followed by Flare, and that's usually enough to make things work out really well for you. I've already done all the capturing I need to with this guy. Do I have any other notes on him? I believe I do. For some reason, I forgot to write it down on my list. So you can get no encounter.
I'll be right back.
Weapons or armor from those guys if as a drop if you care. There's nothing up to the left anymore since we've already done the treasure chest thing. These guys. Now these guys are somewhat fun to be able to fight when you know how to do what you need to do in order to make them not counterattack. And like pretty much every other enemy in here, it comes down to double casting Demi. They have 20,000 HP total. And I'll bet you they're off my list. Nope. They have high resistance to both death and petrification. But as long as we can bring them down enough with Demi there, then we should be able to one-shot them. And the thing is, when you double cast Demi, they don't counterattack. I believe it's because it's multi-targeting. You could probably single cast it and it would do the same thing, but you might as well double cast it. And let's see, we'll bring in Kamari, who I don't think can kill them. From them you can steal fire gems. Not that you need those at this point in the game. You could use Null Blaze if you wanted to avoid their damage from the normal attacks, as well as their spells. I think they cast Faraga or something like that. But, nah, I don't think I need to do that. Bring in Riku. Nope, nope, I don't need to steal. Pretty much if you have nothing better to do, throw an Elbed Potion. Might as well at this point. You're going to be relying on your damage dealers, Waka, Orn, and Titus, to take down most of the enemies. Or at least these enemies, anyway. So I still haven't been able to capture enough of those guys. So there's that. And you get some decent equipment down here. A number of them I'll be mentioning after we encounter them. One thing you will most certainly want to do is make sure to keep Titus in your party, your active party, with a first strike weapon. We'll find out why eventually. Do note that this is here. We can't do anything with it quite yet. We have to move further on into the dungeon to be able to do anything. You can see nothing happens. Let's find some other new enemies along our way. Keep going up this way. Ah, these guys. Another good idea to have Titus in the party for these guys, not the ones the enemy I was thinking of, but very important for these guys. Now, spirits are really annoying. They use a poison mist attack, which can inflict a number of status effects to all party members, including confusion, which is a very easy way to get game over. If you provoke him, he becomes your best friend. These guys will attack you, and he will use White Wind on your party. You can also lance at White Wind, I believe, from him if you're missing out on that. So just make sure you leave Titus in. And then the thing is, he can keep attacking this guy, and it won't lead to any downsides for you. And let's see, we don't need to armor break. Can we kill you? Yeah, you want to avoid him using Poison Mist if at all possible, because it's a very easy way to get a game over. Ow! That hurt! You don't need to worry about, let's see, I believe those ones are spirits. They can drop a friend sphere. That's one of the things about the Omega Ruins, is a number of the enemies have a rare drop that's a friend sphere, or a return sphere, or even a teleport sphere, which makes it very easy to get the spheres you need to warp around the grid to get items or skills and abilities that you want to get earlier than you otherwise would be able to get. This guy is immune, the spirit, the one that we provoked there, is immune to death and petrification. The other guys there are not. In fact, I don't think they have any immunity toward it whatsoever. So we can just go like this and capture them both very, very easily. Let's see, Lulu. Yuna needs to get in here. And let's see, we need Lulu in here. We'll throw a dummy spell out. I think he's pretty much dead at this point, but we'll find out how much HP he's got left. This should be around 40% of whatever his current HP. Yeah, I thought so. And he'll counter with Poison Mist, because I didn't have anyone else there to provoke him. Now, that can be a counter. It doesn't have to be just a normal attack or on his turn. So you want to be very, very careful with that. Farewell. Once you're done capturing them, basically just bring everyone in for the fight if you want to gain the experience, and then summon an Aeon like Bahamut and have Bahamut take them out. Alright, let's do a little bit of healing before we move on. Let's go. Now, I believe up here is a dead end. We've already seen how to fight these guys. Basically, go in the battle, steal healing water. You should have Titus in here. I definitely should have had Titus in here, because that could have ended badly.
Live and let
and
live.
Then run away. Okay, and I believe it's over here. Yeah, so we'll head down here first, because down here is where we need to go to trigger the first part of this. This is why we have Titus in the party. If you still need to capture them, you'll need to provoke with Titus if he gets first strike. If you don't get first strike, he will use Bad Breath on you pretty much every time. I've heard some people say it's not every time, but as far as I remember, it is every time. I've already done all the capturing of the Malbros that need to, so...
I won't go so easy on you next time.
Bye-bye. The other thing you can do is if you don't want to use Provoke, you could summon an Aeon, sub Titus out for Yuna, summon an Aeon, that kind of thing. Alright, so let's go to this guy over here. we need to activate this glyph in order to be able to go back to the area we were just at and activate another glyph. So unless I see any more enemies, I will see you over there. Well, that works too. The Master Tonberry. Don't know if he's susceptible to provoke. That's not how I've dealt with him in the past. The way I deal with this guy is to make use of everyone's best friend, sleep. Oh, when I was looking up some of these items, most of the items, they'll inflict these status effects for 8 turns. I didn't know it was that long. I never see it run out, so... Anyway, and then, no, not Yuna, I wanted Lulu. She's got Magic Booster on.
So, how shall we do this?
And we want to take down his HP, so we want a Demi, and Demi again. He does have quite a bit of HP, and he will counter every attack made against you, or made against him. I think it's every single attack. Sometimes he seems to not counter, but maybe that was just the other Tonberry or something like that. But, so yeah, he definitely can do that a lot. There we go. And he will use his Karma ability, which does damage equal to the amount of enemies you've killed. I'm not sure if it's like number for number or anything like that, but it definitely does a lot of damage. It does like 8,000 damage to Titus at this point, which is pretty much instantly killed. So let's see, bring in you. And then what I'm doing is I've been using Shadow Gems against him, because that'll take 50% of his max HP at this point, which means I know that he's got about 5,200 HP left. And let's see, Riku, we can steal from him, I guess. Mana Spring. Rarely you can steal something else. Mana Tablet, Stamina Tablet, something. Something somewhat useful. And we'll just guard with you, and use Titus to deliver the final blow, since he should do close to max damage. And you captured him. Basically, after 4 turns, he'll use his knife attack and he'll kill you guys. Why did I not do anything with Orm? Huh. Oh well. We've already seen these guys. Oh, I've been neglecting to double check my notes here. So these guys can drop rarely level 3 key spheres. You can use darkness against them to prevent their attacks, as well as death and petrification to kill them. And the Master Tonberry can rarely drop a teleport sphere, as well as he does drop weapons with some amount of probability. The weapons he drops can potentially be 4-socketed empty weapons or 4-socketed empty armor. So you can get really, really lucky and get something really, really good, save you 100 grand buying from wands. That's all I needed to note about these guys, so we'll cut. Okay, we're back. I also forgot to mention those Adamantoise enemies that we've been able to fight in both Sin and here. They can also drop those 4-slot empty weapons and armor. So those can be very, very useful for you. Save you a bunch of money if you want to get stuff for everyone. Or even just, you know, save some so you don't have to, like, if I'd gotten lucky and gotten one for Riku, I wouldn't have had to buy one yet. Alright, so we've unlocked that. Now we can head up here. Okay. Approach this, and then this will rise up. I don't know why it didn't all rise up in the first place, but oh well. And another one gets to come up. And that will lead us over to what we could have seen from another area, a teleport sphere. Now, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. We went way over time as is. I just wanted to actually get something done. So anyway, next time we will continue going through the Omega Ruins. This one just got us a treasure chest. But that's not all we can get here. There are some nice bosses to fight as well. And we'll be taking down one of those next time. The other one is probably going to take a whole episode to take down. So anyway, that's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.